Keeping them honest every night. AC 360. CNN, weeknights 10 Eastern.
In Crime and Punishment tonight, a jury was picked tonight in the sexual assault trial of Warren Jeffs. It's a panel of 10 women and 2 men, and they're expected to be sworn in tomorrow. Now, Jeffs, as you'll remember, is the leader of a polygamist sect. He has pleaded not guilty in Texas to charges of sexually assaulting a minor as well as bigamy. Before opening statements are made, the defense is scheduled to file a motion to suppress evidence. Now, this particular case stems from a raid in 2008 at a Texas ranch operated by his sect, the fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which believes in polygamy. Now, at that time, 400 children were removed from the ranch due to fears of sexual abuse. Jeffs' attorneys has declined to speak about this particular case, and this is not the first time Warren Jeffs has had a run-in with the law. He's been arrested many times and was tried in Utah in 2006, charged at that time with being an accomplice to rape. He was convicted, but the case was overturned on a technicality. And now his fate is in the hands of this Texas jury, and his followers remain loyal even though he's behind bars. Here's Gary Tuckman.
El Dorado, Texas. This tiny town is where Warren Jeffs is now in jail as he stands trial. And while Jeffs has been here, he's done one thing above all else. He spent a lot of time on the phone.
In this past month, how much money has he spent, would you estimate, on phone cards to make phone calls?
Roughly $3,000.
And a similar pattern when he was for a time in a different Texas jail a few dozen miles away.
So do you know how much he spent on phone cards?
I would say probably in excess of $10,000.
$10,000 in the 4 months he was here? Right. And is it unusual to spend that much money? Have you ever had an inmate spend as much money on phone cards?
No, we haven't had.
Authorities tell CNN Jeffs has been given cash by his loyal followers to pay for the calls. And jailers say they monitor what's said. Mostly lengthy sermons and detailed instructions to his followers a few miles away at his isolated Yearning for Zion ranch, as well as to his followers in the twin polygamous towns of Colorado City, Arizona and Hilldale, Utah. If that sounds like he's still running the church from jail, he is. Insiders say he's even been excommunicating those who disagree with him. But what it hasn't done is stop a growing feud between those who still believe in him and those who now believe he's a child molester.
I would like all of you to think if you were standing here today.
3 years ago, Willie Jessup was one of Jeff's most trusted lieutenants. He even showed me around the compound in West Texas that was raided by Texas Rangers to show CNN that there was nothing inherently bad taking place.
That's a real cat.
Today, Jessup says Warren Jeffs has betrayed his church.
And he said he's a very wicked man, and he confessed to doing some very terrible things, including molesting his daughter and sister and others. And I think his own words describe himself more than I would care to characterize it.
Jessup is talking about diaries submitted as evidence that he says were left by Warren Jeffs after his arrest in Las Vegas 5 years ago. He's talking about these pictures showing Jeffs embracing and kissing young girls no more than 12 or 13 years old, Jessup says.
His conduct will never be sanctioned by me. I don't think there's anyone in my church that will ever sanction what he has done. It's just a matter of time until they come to terms and figure out how to cope with what he has done.
According to authorities in both Texas and Canada, Jeffs orchestrated what Canadian police have called a child trafficking ring, sending as many as 30 young girls ages 12 or 13 from a polygamous compound in British Columbia across the U.S. border to FLDS enclaves in Utah, Arizona, and Texas.
This is very serious allegations here where essentially in layman's terms we're dealing with the exploitation of children, of young girls for sexual purposes and the procurement of sex with girls under the ages of 18.
Officials of the mainstream Mormon church reject Jeffs and his practices.
Hi. How are you today? Good.
But those who support Jeffs, like this 18-year-old we met while she was selling coffee and juice in Colorado City, Arizona, have no doubts whatsoever.
Tell me what Warren Jeffs means to you.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, how important is he to you?
Everything.
He's everything to you? Mm-hmm. And are you married yet?
I'm not.
Do you want to be married someday?
Of course I do.
And do you want to have sister wives too?
Of course I do.
Like how many sister wives would be perfect, do you think, in your family?
As many as I get.
Gary Tuckman, CNN, Colorado City, Arizona.